It's Visuino custom code 01101-001. And for all of the non-computer brain people, this is number 105. In this tutorial, we're going to go over the basics of the on executable, which is mainly your system loop. Alright, if you'll notice, we have not attached anything to the clock input pin. Every time the Arduino runs this code and it comes past this chunk of the custom code block, it's going to run. If we were to attach a signal to the clock input pin of the custom code, it would only run upon getting a signal, not every loop. Alright, let's set up one integer input pin, and we're going to put in the code block, count max equals a value. And then, as everyone knows, a value is whatever the pin is receiving, whatever data is coming in. And count max is the member that we created, the integer in the member box. Alright, we're going to get one output integer pin set up. And this is so that after the on execute runs, we have something to write the data out to. Alright, if you open up the quick edit code box for the members, make sure you got two integers in there, one named count, and set that to 0 as default, and then count max, and we'll just go ahead and set it to 200, but you can use pretty much whatever number you want. Alright, looking at the on execute code, the first line, it's just going to increase count by 1. Second line, it's going to check if the count is greater than or equal to the count max plus 1. If it is, it's going to set it to 0. On the integer 1.send, you're sending the count out integer 1 pin. And then the last line, delay the amount of time of count. So if count is 200, it's going to delay 200 milliseconds. So this whole thing is just basically a continuous loop. It's just going to keep counting and keep resetting to 0 once it reaches it, and it's going to delay that amount of time. Alright, here's this episode's quick tip. Now, in the on executable, be very, very careful about using the delay command. If anything, put it somewhere outside the custom code block. This is going to run every time, and if it doesn't need the delay, then don't. Okay, now on the Visuino sketch portion of it, from the serial output, we're just going to take the character input into a text. All that's going to do is take the single lettered input and make it into a string. And then we're going to take that text and change it into an integer. So when you enter a number into the serial monitor, that number is going to be your count max. Alright, so while you're uploading to your Arduino, we're going to talk about the different kind of gaits that the hexapods use. Basically, the different gaits are how it's moving its legs, what kind of terrain you're going over, what kind of speed you need. The tripod gate on the left, you'll see that the front left, the middle right, and the left rear all are on number 1. The other 3 are on number 2. When the first leg moves, all 3 are going to move. This is typically a faster type walk than the wave gate on the right. The wave gate on the right is 1 leg at a time. You sometimes use this on rough terrain, or if you want to move slowly and quietly and things of this nature. There's multiple kinds of gates, but these are the main 2 that a hexapod uses. Alright, so if you did everything right, you should be getting numbers climbing up to 200 and slowing down progressively as it sends the data. When it hits 200, it'll reset. And now down here, let's say you put in 300, it will wait until it's 300. And when it counts to 300, then it'll go back to 0. But let's say you want to go to, here, let me let it go over 200. So right about now, you see it's still going and it's getting slower and slower. So right now it's 0.2 of a second, and it's going to go to 0.3, and it's going to get slower and slower and slower. But let's say you want to go fast. Let's go to 100. So it'll go up to 100 and then flip-flop back over. So eventually the delay will get to 0.1 of a second. So, you know, this basically just shows you the difference between using the input on data box and the on execute box. The on execute box is a good way to do a loop. It's perfect for a loop with some simple kind of data, but also be very, very careful about using the delay command, because not only does the delay command delay it in the custom code box, but it delays the whole thing. So, you know what I mean? You know, be careful with it, because it'll mess you up. You're gonna wonder where it's coming from, and then you'll see that every time it updates, it's delaying. So unless you need it, don't use it. By the way, you can like, share, subscribe, comment, or not. It's all good. Peace. Hi, Hank.